We typically have, as I said at the beginning of our meetings, a 15-minute public comment period, and we allow anyone to speak on any topic. We usually limit it to 3 minutes each and ask that people speak only once. So I think we'll use those same rules today, if you don't mind. If somebody needs to revisit their comments, that's fine, but we'd like you to just rise, state your name, give your address for the record, so we'll know who's who. We probably know most of you, but it's always good to be reminded of put a name to the face, and we have the address for the record. So I guess we'll start that. I don't think we let me preface it by saying this. We took a rather dramatic step of closing the library, as you're all aware. I don't think any of us was really anticipating that until we got in the meeting and we started discussing things. The board made the unanimous decision to do that. We hope it'll be very short-lived, and we hope we'll make some progress on that today. We will have an executive session after this open session because we've got a number of people. We've got a pretty significant list of folks who are interested. Some who've contacted me or a member of the town board to say they're interested. Also, we've had names that have been referred to us by a third party saying, hey, you gotta look at so-and-so, he'd be a good library board member. So that is kind of where we are right now. And people have questioned why did we do what we did, and I put out a statement saying that we just were concerned. We felt that the best way to handle this situation, which is, as I said, kind of unprecedented, was to let's take a step back, let's close for a couple of days, and figure out where we're headed here, and how best to move the library forward. So again, we hope to have some more direction in the next couple of days, and hopefully get the library open as quickly as possible. That's our goal. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. It's not that we suspect people or suspicious of people. It's that we thought this was the best way to go, given the fact that there was no true management structure in place right as we speak right now. And I was in the building last week. I signed off on the document and paperwork, to get some bills paid, which is fine. We wanted to take care of business as best we could, but in the bigger picture, we just thought it was best that we take a few days, try to get the library board back functioning as quickly as possible, and then they'll move forward with the process. And it is a process of selecting a new director. It's a civil service provision. There's civil service law to follow. There is a list that has to be hired, from which the successful candidate has to be hired. And those lists actually are about to expire. Don't worry about that. I've been told by the county said that the one's expiring. I think one has already expired, a list for clerks. The second list is for director. It's set to expire next week. I spoke with the county civil service, with human resources of the county, and they said when the list expires, it's not a big deal. You ask for another list. We canvass the people that are on the list before and say, are you still interested? If they say yes, then we give you a new list. So it doesn't matter. It's not a matter of having to schedule a test and all that kind of thing. So when the list expires, I thought it was a bigger deal than it is, quite honestly, and I don't think it's that significant. And if we ask for another list, they can give us another list very quickly. So, actually, I don't even know if I told the board that yet. I just found that out yesterday, so that's probably news to you guys as well. So, with that, I guess, we have folks that want to speak? Sure. Somebody's got to be first.
My name is Carol Pelkey. Did you say when my address?
If you can, yeah, that'd be good.
4 Elgin Avenue, Massena. I would start with, I'm glad to hear the tone a little more quiet. I've only lived in this town for 9 years. I was out of the state for many years. For most of my career, I did not live in New York State. But recently, the level of rhetoric on all sides has been really harsh. I don't like that. I came here to be peaceable, and I hope that's what we can get. As for comments, I don't know how to approach that if I don't know what you're going to say or do. It's kind of hard to give my comments up front till I know what the outcome is going to be. That's very difficult to respond.
I think the desired outcome, if I can speak for the board, is that, again, that we get a new library board get a library board up to the level that it can function, which is more than one member, which is all we have now, and that then the library can be back in business, so to speak, because have some management in place with the library board. And then the library board, we want to meet with them and make sure they understand what we expect of the library board, but they can expect of us. They can ask us questions, and then they at some point will visit the idea of selecting a new director, a new library director.
I think if I could add to what the supervisor has just said, the closure of the library by the town board was an extraordinary act, but it was precipitated, it was brought about by extraordinary circumstances. The goal of the town board is to reconstitute the command structure, for lack of a better term, in the library, get someone in charge, okay, which is a process, as the supervisor said, as quickly as we possibly can, and return to normal. So,
I'm very concerned for the, I never worked at the library, never worked for the state of New York, my career has been in Michigan. But I am concerned that the civil servants are not going to be paid. I would be very upset if you closed my business down and said, you can't come in, but I'm also not going to pay you through no fault of mine that I'm not going to get paid. I understood, using my annual leave, I probably have plans for it, like everybody in the world does. And I understand that there are temporary employees who have no annual leave. People are supporting families in very harsh economic times. It's very difficult for me to sit by and say, even though it doesn't affect me, that it's okay, that that's an economic burden. It doesn't seem fair that they've done nothing wrong, and yet they're being penalized. That's awfully harsh.
And I can tell you, we had that very discussion among us before we made the decision, and we were concerned about that. So it wasn't made lightly. The intent isn't to punish anyone or to be punitive in any way. So I think the key now is that we get the library open as quickly as possible, and get people back to work.
But that won't pay their bills.
Understood?
It's very harsh.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Juanita McPherson, 257 Center Street. So I've been library patron for almost 50 years. I can't tell my age, but I worked there for 22 and a half years. I've been retired for 11. Library is really an important part of this community. And I think, if you don't use the library, probably don't realize all of the people that use it for a lot of different things besides taking out books, which I think is a very important part. Reading should be a very important thing for people to do. And so really, when the library was closed, it wasn't just people not being able to check out books. There were many other reasons. It was very hot on Monday, and on hot days, often people will come into the library and bring their children in for a couple of hours of some relief. There are a lot of people in Massena who can't afford to have air conditioning, don't have swimming pools. So they don't have cars to go to the beach or can't afford to go to the beach. So they would come to the library and their children would play and so on. So I was astonished and shocked. There's been so very, very few times in my experience that the library's been closed, and this did not seem like an important enough reason. We had Elaine Dunfair, who has been interim director before, and has, for many years, had many of the duties of a director. She's there, and the staff has been there. They've all worked there for a long time. I really did not see a serious enough reason to close the library, and I'm really dismayed by that. The library in Massena has often been called by other people from other communities. In fact, the director of North Country Library System many times called it, the pearl of the North. We have a beautiful library. It's a compliment to the town of Massena that we have such a wonderful library. And I think it's incumbent upon the town board to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
And so then my second question is, I think my 3 minutes probably are up, yeah. I guess I would like to know what the qualifications that they're going to be for, to be on the library board. In the past, even when I was working, we had many wonderful library board members, but we've had some that weren't so great. I think one of the qualifications should be that they should know the library. They should be users of the library. If they aren't, if they don't care enough about the library to ever come in and take out a book, or even, to use any of the facilities that we have at the library, then why would they want to be on the board?
Right.
You know?
And unfortunately, in the past couple of weeks, we've lost some people that were great patrons of the library from the board. So,
Namely.
well, I think Mr. Geiser was a pretty significant patron of the library. I think that Pam Nanette was, and I think John Acton was.
I don't think John
And
Acton-
Barb DeWine as well. So, and I'm not gonna debate people, quite honestly, if
Okay,
you get
that's
different
fine.
opinions, that's fine. That's my opinion on it, and so, I agree, I'd love to have every board member to be a very active library patron, that's the ideal situation. I'd like to have people with some educational background and some business experience, because it is a business, whether we like it or not. We spend over $750,000 a year on our library. People say, well, you bring that up, yeah, because it's significant, it's a lot of money. Is it too much? I'm not saying it's too much, I'm saying it's a significant amount of money. It is an enterprise unto itself to a great degree. So that's my thought when we ask someone with some business background, or at least some organizational background, that they're familiar with making those kind of decisions that are in essence management. The library board, in my mind, and I don't want to monopolize the comments from the board here, the library board's job is not to be in the library every day managing day-to-day operations. That's what library staff is for. It's to set policy and make management decisions on the overall function of the library, the overall operation of the library. So I don't want people who are there every day and want to be involved with the staff every day. That's not a board member's job, in my opinion. I'd like them to be patrons of the library, certainly, and be very familiar with the library. But I don't want them in there micromanaging. Micromanaging is a term that's thrown around a lot. Someone is in there all the time saying, oh, you didn't do this, and this, I don't like the way this book cart looks, and whatever. And that's not a library board member's job, in my opinion.
I agree with that part. However, I do think